All right, I think we're back live now. Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late from our noon start time. I am absolutely having to practice what I preach as it relates to mental health. I recently moved down from Maryland near DC to Tampa, Florida, and I don't have my internet hooked up yet, so I'm using my phone as a hotspot. I got a room full of boxes, so you can imagine for any of you that has ever moved, if you've ever moved by yourself, you know how stressful it is. So thank you for your patience and thank you for understanding. My name is April Lewis. I am a speaker and mental fitness coach. I am the CEO of a company called Good Connection Incorporated. And my focus and purpose in life is to connect people and individuals and teams with their highest selves. So what does that mean? I thoroughly enjoy helping other people be great. I like helping other people understand who they are, what they're here to do, and how they can start doing it now. Because interesting, just like the title of this group is the What Now movement. All we have is right now. So special shout out to Eric and Ted and Sharon, the founders of this amazing movement here. Thank you so much for having me back. You always put together amazing programs, releasing great content. You all have great podcasts, all of those things. So I am just grateful and honored to be part of the movement and to chime in for a few minutes and talk about something that is near and dear to my heart and hopefully is near and dear to your heart because it's something that you deal with, and it's the state of your mental health. Now, I titled this Stop Saying This About Mental Health, and I'm going to get into what that this is. But what I want you to start doing first, before I tell you what to stop saying, I wanted to ask you what to start saying and what to start thinking and what to start believing. And that is mental health is physical health. I'll say it again. Mental health is physical health. Somewhere along the line, well, actually, it started years ago, back when we had asylums and mental institutions, and we didn't understand the complexity of the brain and how it correlates with our behavior, our actions, and things of that nature. There were horrible stigmas that were put on mental health, people dealing with mental illnesses and things of that nature. I want to remind you that mental health is physical health. I do consulting for the American Mental Wellness Association, and that is our mantra, that mental health is physical health. So, what do we mean and why do we say that? What we mean is the same way that you pay attention to, that you do research, that you make it one of your top priorities about your physical health, whether that's your cardiovascular health, your respiratory health, your autoimmune health, your joint health. Those health issues remain top of conversations and they remain paramount and they remain on our list of things that we should be concerned with. And then we look at mental health as if it's some disconnected portion of the body. So what I want you to stop saying about mental health is that you don't deal with it or that it's something different. Your mental health, my friend, is no different from your oral health, is no different from your eye health, is no different from your physical health, which is why I say that mental health is physical health. Mental health issues manifest in different behaviors to include substance abuse addiction, right? So I say that and I want to go deep into that because we often, and I, as a mental fitness coach, I'm always invited to speak and talk to organizations on matters of the mind, and it's still looked at as this secondary thing. Oh, let's add mental health to the program. People are dealing with it now. In times like this, we need to talk about it more than ever. People are stressed out. Well, people are stressed out 24/7. In times like always, we need to deal with mental health. Let me tell you a personal story from me and how I got to this point. And hopefully it'll help you or help someone else that you know. So I'm 37 years old. I am the baby of five. I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. And of my mom's five children, two have severe clinical diagnoses of mental health issues, right? One of them is doing exceptionally well. The other's doing well in her own regard. But I will tell you this, genetically, I had a predisposition to having a mental health issue. Like pure science, had nothing to do with April, had nothing to do with the upbringing. It had everything to do with the fact that there was a genetic predisposition to having a mental health issue. I went through life. I made great grades in school. I played sports. I was an athlete. Like absolutely enjoyed being a student. And then a tragedy happened later in life once I got out of school and I went to the military. And that tragedy was the death of my husband. My husband was killed in 2006 in Iraq. So, up until that point, I had been thriving. I had been doing exceptionally well, good grades. Like I said, athlete, didn't have any issues. Well, my only issue was I used to get in trouble in school for talking. No surprise. All I wanted to do was talk to people and learn about people. So, fast forward from school to 2006 when I lost my husband. His name is Dwayne. I opened up a piece of my brain that had been closed and had never been tapped into before. And that piece of the brain was dealing with grief. So I remember losing my grandfather when I was younger. The only thing I really remember is we were going to the funeral and we were in a limousine and they gave us orange juice in a limousine. I have small remnant of memories of my grandfather, but I can't clearly see his face. I remember I hurt myself on the side of his shed. I remember, him making us Kool-Aid and putting peppermint, no, ice cream and Kool-Aid when we were younger, and we came in. So that's what I remember about my granddaddy. But after, losing Dwayne, then I had to realize what grief was, what it meant. So I'm saying that to say there was something lying dormant in me that opened up by dealing with this tragedy. If you or anyone you know suffers from a tragedy, a traumatic situation, from that you can deal with what's called with PTSD. So that's post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm saying that to say this. I had not had any issues with my mental health up until this point. I was healthy, mind, body, and spirit. And then one day, one situation, one phone call, one knock on the door completely changed everything. So when I tell you to stop saying that mental health is something you don't deal with, I truly mean it. You may have not dealt with it to the magnitude of some people, but if you feel like you just can't get your thoughts together, if you feel like you're stressing and you want to stop stressing, if you feel like you're constantly looking at things that you want to do and don't really know how to get to it, if you find yourself being irritated and agitated with your children or your families, you are dealing with something mentally. That does not make you what people like to call crazy. And for the record, we're all crazy in our own ways, right? So when it comes to mental health, stop saying it is something that you don't deal with, or stop making it think that it's something that's secondary. You are a person, a whole person with a mind. You have a mood, you have emotions, you have your physical health, you have your mental health. It is all who you are. So I encourage you to not separate your mental health. Your mental health is your physical health. The same way you look at eating good meals and walking and working out and stretching your body and resting your mind needs the same thing. So, what do our minds need? Our minds, more than anything, need clarity. When we're able to think clearly, we can process information that we are receiving and we can process information that we've already received. So when you have a mind and you feel like your thoughts are racing, your thoughts are all over the place, you can't focus on one thing to get the task done, that's why I want you to say, okay, I need to clear my mind. So how do you clear your mind? Well, first and foremost, you become present in the moment, which means wherever you are, whatever you're doing and dealing with, be fully there. You can ask yourself, where am I right now? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I feeling? Those are ways to practice mindfulness, which brings you back to the present moment. As much as we love to think that we can multitask, that has been debunked for years. Science has proven, research has proven that the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. It may be doing other things, but only one thing at one time can get 100% of your focus. So, to that end, don't go against what your brain cannot do. Don't attempt to, oh, I'm on the phone, but I'm also catching up on this email. People do that all the time. You can't be present. You're either missing a word in the email, you're not getting your thought across, or you're not fully actively listening to the person on the phone. That, my friend, causes stress inside our body when we're trying to be somewhere other than where we are. You know the feeling when you're like headed into the office or you were headed into the office, you didn't leave out the door in time, you got a call at X amount of time, you're looking at it, You're trying to time every light. You say, I got 13 and a half minutes to get there and I'll be fine. And the entire time that you're driving, you're stressed out. You're paying attention to everybody that's going slow. You're wondering why the sun is shining so bright. Why won't the light change? It's because you're in your car, but your mind and your body is already in the office, at that meeting, in that email, whatever the case may be. So imagine a world to where you just are where you are. I forget who said it. Maybe it's Socrates. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. But it says, be where your feet are. That mantra will absolutely help you day in and day out to be more present, to be more engaged, to be more of an active listener, to be more involved in what you're doing. Be where your feet are. Mental health is your physical health. My friend, I do not want you, as best you can, moving from this day forward, do not separate your mind from the rest of your body. Your mind is your body. The ancestor of every action is a thought. So before you do anything or don't do anything, because we know not doing something is action, then you thought about it. So keep those thoughts clear. Be present in the moment. See and experience what you're seeing and experience as it is happening. And when you move on to the next thing, be there. So look at the state of your mindset as the same way you look at the state of your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your joints, your muscles, your feet, your eyes, your ears. It is your mind. It needs you. It needs to be clear. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to be nurtured. And only you can do that when you look at it as the same way you look at your physical health. So take care of it. Practice mindfulness. Don't stress out by being in two places at once. Be where your feet are. And I promise you, your world will change. The way you engage and experience life will change if you be where your feet are. So stop saying that mental health is something that you don't deal with. Stop saying if you're in a conference or you're attending a summit, don't feel like you don't need to attend the mental health portion of it. You do. If you have a brain, if you're still alive, if you're a functioning adult, you need to know how best to take care of your mental health. And the number one way is to realize that it is absolutely your physical health. It is not any separate. Your mind needs you the same way you need it to work for you. So with that, I thank you so much for chiming in for this quick Monday mental health day, mental health moment. Of course, if you need to get to me, I'll put my email in the chat box, april@aprillewis.com. My website is aprillewis.com. I encourage you to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You are one person, so take care of all of you. Have a wonderful day ahead, and please reach out if you have any questions.